You want to start a fish farm? What are the things you need to do before you even stock your fish? Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Daniel. If you are new here, I help you discover, learn and improve your processes when it comes to agricultural business and other businesses. If you are new here, please click on the subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you know when I release videos on agricultural business in general. Before you even think of stocking your fish, there are things you need to put in place so that you don't lose your fish when you stock them in the pond. So what are the things that you need to do before even buying your fish? One is you have to test your water. If you are raising them from fingerlings or juvenile, or even if you are going to hatch, the first thing you need to do, that every farmer needs to do, is you need to test the pH of your water where you will be raising the fishes. The acidity and alkalinity of the water where you'll be raising your fish is very important. If the pH is too high or is too low, it will affect the growth of your fish, and sometimes it can even kill your fish. So the first thing you need to do is buy a testing kit. It is not that cost. With at least 10,000 naira, you should get a good testing kit. Test the water pH, and if the pH is too high or too low, then you can regulate it so that it will be good for raising fish. The second thing after testing your water pH is you need to wash your pond. If it is a new pond, especially if it's a concrete pond that you just constructed, then you need to wash it, put water in it and banana leaf for at least 3 days before you wash it. But if it is an old pond that you are already using, then you need to wash it with salt and water. Some people use soap, but advisably, if it's a new pond, you can use soap and water to wash it. Then after like a day or after like 8 hours, you use salt and water to wash it again so that it will remove every germ and some other things that could be in the pond. Another option to salt and water, if you don't want to use that, is you can use OTC to wash your pond. Next thing you need to do after washing your pond, rinse it very well, then leave it to dry for at least a day before even putting any other water. If you are raising your fish in an open space like this where there is direct sunlight to it, leave it for 8 hours. But if it is under a shed, then leave it for at least a day for it to dry very well. Most times we advise people that are using concrete pond to have their pond in an open space where there is no shade, because sunlight will help the pond to dry so fast, and also it helps the growth of the fish. The next thing after you've washed the pond and it's dry is you have to fill the pond with water. Advisably, I recommend you fill the pond with water at least 24 hours before you stock your fish. Reason being that there are some people that their water pH is not good, and that was why I said you should test the water pH before you even start anything. So if you don't know how to regulate your water with some ingredient, then what you can do is to fill the pond with water at least 24 hours before you stock your fish. This way the water will have settled down and it will have regulated, and it won't affect your fish when you stock them. After you fill your pond with water, the next thing is now to stock your fish. Advisably, you need to get your fish from a very good source. Even if you put all these things in place and you don't get the right fish, you can still lose your fish. When you get your fish, put them in the pond, and when you put them in the pond, do not feed them immediately, because you are going to be transporting them from a long distance. When you get to your destination, you put your fish in the pond where you are prepared, and you leave them to settle in the pond for at least 3 hours before feeding them. This is important because of the stress that they have gone through when transporting them from where you got the fish to your farm. Now that you have stocked your fish, you need to now continually monitoring how they are doing day by day to see if they are good fish or bad fish. How do you know a good fish? From the very first moment they get into the pond where you prepared for them, they should be active enough to swim because they have gotten to their habitation. If they don't do that immediately, maybe after a few hours they should do that. But after a day, if they are not active enough, even in fresh water, then you should know that you have gotten a bad fish. This way you might not make profit from the business. would like to know which of these steps you have been missing out when preparing to stock your fish. Leave that in the comment section. I have a complete playlist on fish farming. You can check that out here. Also, if you want to start a fish farm, I have an article. I'll leave that in the description box. You can check that with the step-by-step guide on how to start a fish farm. If you have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button, turn on notification so that you know when I release a new video. Catch you in the video here.